All right, we have a walking interview going on today. We are here with Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
I hope that I'm getting you in the shot properly. We're kind of testing ourselves here if we can walk and interview at the same time.
Bouncing along our lovely little dirt road.
So, what are we doing here right now? What's going on?
Oh, every Monday we go hiking out in the beautiful wilds of Vilcabamba and see more beauty and nature than you could even imagine. It's just beautiful.
Wonderful. And you are kind of the leader of this hiking group.
Yeah, it started off with a group of gal pals and people would come and go, and finally I took over the sending out emails and a Facebook page. So 5 years now. I figure hike a week, done over 250 hikes around here, most of them unique. So it's just been a great way to play for me. That's my form of play here.
And how many people are in the hiking group?
You know, it's kind of funny. Over the years, sometimes we've just had 3 show up, but we've had as many as 18 several times. We did, one of our trips was a coffee tour in Loja of all these new baristas and specialty coffee shops that are popping up there.
Really?
Yes, it's amazing. They're all trained in Italy and Spain, and they take that little seed to grow the coffee, to pick the beans, and every step of the way they're guarding each step to make sure it's perfect coffee. And then how they brew it and roast it, all that. So it was quite interesting.
Well, I gotta say personally, I am super grateful and glad that you have kept this walking group going all these years. Because, I never really felt like I could participate in earlier years because I always had small children. And now I'm finally at the point I feel like I can participate, and you're still doing it.
Yes, yeah. So I'm just grateful to have people hike with me because, you know, you don't want to hike by yourself. We go through a lot of barbed wire fences and we can help each other spread the wire. And it's just more fun. We can enjoy it with a group.
And maybe we can kind of give people an understanding of, I mean, it's not very organized around here, right? In terms of like marked, very nice.
It's a discovery process to... And I should chart them down better. One guy's got a vilcahike.com site that's got a number of hikes we've done. But a lot of them are just finding our way, looking at an area, go, let's go up there. And people have homes we go visit, and so just finding them over time has been really fun. There's a lot of places to go if you know where to go.
It's pretty adventurous. I've only been participating for, I'd say, like a couple of months.
Yeah,
like since the turn of the year. But it's been wonderful. Just the different walks that we've already gone on in these few weeks just blow my mind, some of them. Like, because, like I said, trails aren't really marked here. Like, you don't know what's here unless you know.
Yeah, but all the farmers have to have trails to go check on their cows. And so we just find either cow trails or there's always a trail along a fence line. And it's so fun. People sometimes kid me, say, Sue, where are you taking us? Because we get into some kind of funky little spots, but it's all part of the fun and games, and figure out a way to get through a tricky area. It's really an adventure.
It's for sure an adventure, and it's such a blessing, you know, to, like you said, to be able to do it in a group.
Yeah.
And like share transport costs maybe sometimes. Like we went way out that one time into the mountains, like above 10,000 foot, and we all shared the taxis. Like, you know, if you're doing that on your own, it would be so much more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And just safety in numbers too, right? Like,
yes, yeah.
Don't know what you're going to come across.
Yeah, I know. We don't know what we're going to get into, but at least we're together. We have enough heads to figure it out, so it always works.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And so you came down here from the US?
Yes. I was living in Oregon and just was ready for a change in my life. I thought I've lived in North America half my life. I think I'll go spend the rest in South America. And never looked back. I just relish every day. There's something about being in a cleaner, more peaceful environment, being in nature has really made it for me.
And how long have you been here now?
5.5 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and Yeah, like I said, I just really kind of relish every day. It's not for everybody, but there are cities. People love the city life. But just the tranquility and cleanliness and the nature is wonderful.
And what brought you here specifically?
Well, I knew I wanted to live a sustainable, harmonious life with nature, and I wasn't finding that in the United States. And I started studying different projects going on in South America, and I was so excited to see people getting back to the earth and creating a lush and healthy and full of food kind of lifestyle. And you don't need so much money, you know, you don't have to be part of that money machine out there. And I was really disgruntled with how when the economy tanks, it's like the banks do okay, but everybody else is squished financially. And I thought, why work so hard, really, if they can just pull the rug out from under you? I mean, that was my disgruntlement back in 2008 when that whole crash and bail-in came through.
Okay.
So, you know, for me, it was just an option to, there's other things you can do out there that don't cost. You can live on the land so affordably and, and for me, have more enjoyment. Watching the plants grow, you know, being in a jungle. And so it's just been incredibly satisfying to take charge of my life in that way and make some changes that have been very positive.
Good for you.
Yay!
And how did you find Vilcabamba specifically?
Well, that's always kind of fun to answer. I just feel like I was guided here because I would hear things and see things on the internet and I'd put it on my list. So something about Ecuador always spoke to me. So I knew I wanted to spend some time here. Very diverse, beautiful country. And so I had heard about a permaculture biodynamic farm and I thought, oh, I've got to go there. Well, that's what introduced me to Vilcabamba, the lifestyle, the health food store
Yeah,
of
right.
Mads. I thought, man, this place has got it going on. So just for a sleepy little pueblo, there's tons of things going on with just all the art, the healers, the events, the fundraisers, the birthday parties. I take Spanish once a week. I guide a hike once a week. So stay actually quite busy.
How is your Spanish? How was it when you got here and how is it now?
I'd always been studying a little bit and I would do better if I put more time into it, but being in a class once a week just keeps me on track and keeps me learning new words and vocabulary. And it's so rewarding to start being able to talk more to the local people because they're beautiful people. I love the people here.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about that? Which kind of things do you experience with the people here that you might not necessarily elsewhere?
You know, I just find an open-heartedness. I felt welcomed. I'd never felt anybody against me as a gringo, expat, being here. And they have just to see their integrated lifestyle with the families are so huge that they always have family around. The children are never alone. And there's so much love and caring. Of course, things revolve around the soccer and the volleyball, and that's great. They're so involved and have team competitions, so there's something like 19 fiestas a year, I think.
Wow.
Something like, there's a lot. So they celebrate life and with each other. So I grew up in a kind of a closed family. We didn't have other family around, and just to see that difference here of how people just have very rewarding lives, I feel, just because it's rich in relationships and culture and connected with the land, and when they plant their seeds by the moon, and there's just a harmony and a flow here that I'm inspired by.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily easy either, right? Like the lives, because we're in rural Ecuador. We're not like in a city where it's like city life. It's like people are really, they're really working, and a lot of them are living kind of what we would consider perhaps like kind of poverty.
That's
kind of a
right.
state. And like you said, it's like they are actually kind of enjoying life
They,
in ways that other people might
yes.
not even really understand.
They have a richness that I think people that live in their little castles in the States don't experience. And it's that meaningfulness of the connections with family, with connections with the earth, and growing. They all grow their own food. They have their chickens and ducks and goats, and there's just I guess the organicness. I think I miss that in the States. I wasn't raised in that environment, and
Right.
I see there's a richness they have, that they do have a lot of happiness. And of course, wherever you live, there's the ups and downs of life, but they're rich without having money.
Yeah.
You look at their farms and it's like, oh my goodness, they've got everything they need.
Would you have any kind of suggestions, guidance for people in terms of like if somebody wanted to come here, what are the kind of issues that people often run into in your experience? Like maybe mistakes people make here, like messes they get themselves into?
Well, it's all the corporate stuff. I think going through the airports and customs, they can drive you crazy. They can confiscate stuff if they think or charge you fees because they think you're going to be selling something. So, but if you're savvy and kind of know how to defend yourself, it's probably good to, do your research and talk to people in the area. You can do that through Facebook groups and just ask questions, and there's always people that will answer you. So shipping, we kind of cry about here because if you want to order something on eBay or Amazon, it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months, but lately there's been services getting things through in about 2 weeks. So that's something that seems to be improving.
Okay.
And if that's really the only downside, is just wanting to order things that you can't get here. It just takes a while. So you just learn to deal with it. And I've learned to actually live without a lot of things that I used to think I had to have.
Right.
And I find I don't really miss them. But so just dealing with the legalities, getting your visa, and some of that. You're going to have to jump through a few hoops. So the motivation for me was that, once you're here, then you're here. So a little bit of struggle to get here that way. But for me, too, I was looking for everything new. So everything was kind of an adventure to me. Oh, look how they handle this. Oh, look how they handle that. It's like, I guess I'm not in the United States anymore because it's a little, seems a little old-fashioned or, out of date.
Yeah.
But in the same way, it's not like Big Brothers, it's not like you're hooked up to every computer and, they don't sync up so much. So you see the struggles that they have trying to, find out from another department what your status is.
Right.
So if you're willing to be patient and go through a few hoops like that, it's certainly doable.
What did people in the US think, family and friends, when you were aiming to come down this way?
First I said I was going to be gone for a year because I went to Costa Rica for a year too.
Yeah.
But in my research, I was going through South America and I thought, oh, that is the most amazing continent. I can't even believe that, all the things there are to go see and do. So friend said, you're going to be gone for a year? That's so long. And I didn't have the guts to tell him that, well, I don't think I'm coming back because I don't think the rest of my life will be enough time to see what's there. So I just realized, oh, they'll figure it out. When I don't come back, they'll say, oh, you're not coming back, are you? I go, well, it's kind of a hard act to follow here.
Have you been back at all since you left?
Actually, just once. I went to a conference. Of all things. I didn't even tell my family I was coming back because they'd be mad if I didn't go see them. So anyway, so that's fine. You can do so much online. I talk to my son on Skype, and he can, of course, knows I'm here, can come and see me if he wants, but he's got his own life. So for me, I didn't have grandkids. I mean, I have to admit that. If I did, that would be the draw. And there are people that do 6 months here, 6 months in the States around family, and can find a balance that works. Or they just tell their family, hey, come and vacation here, and that works too.
Yeah. You mentioned travel, and you were telling me just now you have a kind of new business idea emerging around something to do with travel. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Let people know about that?
You know, a friend introduced me to this little travel booking engine. It's private. And so you can, for $35 membership, you have access for the rest of your life. Anytime you travel, you got your own private booking engine. So it's better than Expedia, Orbitz, all the online travel sites because it's private. So you can save, maybe you only save $20 on a shorter flight, but most flights you could save, 10 to 30% or more. I looked up a flight for a friend going to a round trip to China before the virus.
Okay.
And they would save $1,000 for a family of 4.
Wow.
On that round trip. So the whole vacation packages or the rentals and the beautiful villas you can rent. I mean, everything's at your fingertips. You don't have to take so much time going through a bunch of different pages or sites, price shopping. You know you're going to get the best price. So it's just a very clean, easy portal. I recommend it highly. So I've had fun. People that get it really like it, and it's a great little business.
That's really cool. I've not heard of that, and I'm very intrigued.
Appy Travels. Did I say what?
No, what's it called?
Appy Travels rhymes with happy, and I think the CEO founder did that on purpose because it does make you happy.
Appy Travels.
Appy.
All right. And do you maybe I'll get the link from you for that, and we can put it here or something so people can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you foresee yourself being here for the rest of your life at this point?
Yes, I have no plans to move.
Yep.
So, unless something, who knows what, I'm open to life anymore, never say never. And I was guided here. Who knows what adventures life holds. So, I'm just happy to be here now. And that's enough for now.
And you don't have property here, right? You just rent. So
oh, yeah, rent.
You're kind of flexible. And...
Yeah, I can't really afford property at this point. And a lot of people, even if they could buy something, they enjoy just renting because it keeps you footloose. It keeps you unobligated. Sometimes people realize they have to sell and go back to the States.
Yeah.
And it seems like when you want to sell your house, then nobody wants it. If you don't care, then everybody wants it. So I think renting at least for the first year.
Yeah.
And of course, it's great to, a lot of people have traveled the world. They come to Vilcabamba and say, hey, I don't need to go any farther. This is it.
Yeah.
So they feel comfortable sinking in their investment into their property and know they have a place to live out their life in a beautiful area.
All right. Well, any final thoughts, final guidance, suggestions for anybody who's watching this and thinking, I want to live there. I want to go walking with Sue every Monday.
Oh, do come. I'd love to meet you. Of all the blogs that I looked at, it seems they all had a common theme. And that's a great way to learn about Ecuador or the South America is look for the blogs of people that are writing about the lifestyle. Mm. And they all said the same thing, that I wish I had come sooner because they spent 5 years trying to think about it and wonder what to do with all their stuff. And they said, God, I could have been enjoying my life instead of going through all that. So to me, that was the most encouraging thing I found, that the people living here love it and are happy. And I don't know, I've had a couple friends move back just because of health issues or whatever. They want their doctor nearby, but the doctors here are great. People have great doctors here. So it's just a nice option for people to, I guess I'd encourage people to don't be afraid to explore and experiment, because that's how you find out. And just come in and take a tour, or just look at how people live here and give yourself expansion of, what's possible. I think is smart, because a lot of people are afraid. I think for a lot of time I didn't know what to expect. It's unknown territory, so you end up just not going or doing anything. So there's a beautiful world out here that is just here for the taking, just to come and enjoy the pristine and kind of wildness. And there's very modern areas, and then there's very ancient areas, so you have your pick. how you want to live here.
Got it.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Sue.
Yeah, thanks, Angela. It's been so nice having you hiking with us.
Thank you. I hope to be
Okay.
back in 6 months, back on the trails again.
All right.
All right,
Look
well,
forward to it.
thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Ciao.